Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on the Boss Rush Network. I am one of your hosts, Corey Darrigan. Alongside me, as always, is the joy, but also my favorite Wisconsinite on the Citadel.
Ha!
Stoy Jovic.
Oh, man. That makes me feel so good.
See?
Yeah, I like that.
I use that. So before we started recording, I was like, Josh is going to be mad at that, but that's okay because I tell him he's my favorite Destiny co-host on the Citadel.
Well, I'm not a Destiny co-host, so he can have the Destiny co-host thing on the Citadel.
You know, that's true.
How many Wisconsinites are there on the Citadel?
Like one.
One. Me.
Yeah.
So it's Josh, it's fine.
It's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of fine,
we Laron and I recorded that Mass Effect series, and I forget what it was. We coined the term space boner, or like a sci-fi boner or something like that, where like sci-fi lore, like we get such a kick out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's because especially with Mass Effect, how they give you like details on all the planets that you discover, and reading all that text of like what the how many revolutions around the sun does it take, and how many rotations compared to Earth years and stuff. Like it's so cool. Like when I explore planets, like if I mine for minerals and resources in Mass Effect 2, I read all that shit. Like I'm like, oh man, this is so cool. Like I forget about it, but like it's really cool that the writers take time to kind of write all that stuff. So hey, toss a coin to your writers in any game that you do, and read the codex entries.
Yes.
A lot of people put in a lot of time for that.
I gotta tell you, man, the codex was like the best. It was the best.
And honestly, in any game, like in any fantasy game, like a lot of times just reading those codex entries and kind of really engrosses you into the world a lot more so than just running through and just playing gameplay. But that's me. I know I'm not like everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You are definitely not like everybody.
No, I am unique. But
how are you, Stoy? Are you good?
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Great.
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
Been having I started nursing school, as you know.
Yes.
And I'm only taking online classes right now, and I'm going full time. Like I'm not even working right now because this scholarship program that I'm in. And so they're actually paying me to go to school. They're paying my salary to go to school full time. And it's a really nice deal. But I'm finding myself having a lot of more time playing video games, which is shocking because you think like, I should be spending all my time studying and stuff like that. But it's really not that way. Like if I don't have an 8-hour job throughout my day, like I find myself having a lot more time throughout the day than I realize. So
video games are your new job.
Yes, that is my new job.
It's my new job.
Because honestly, like
I beat the Mass Effect trilogy in one day.
Yeah, no kidding, man. And I'm trying. Like I'm still playing Dragon Age Inquisition, and I'm trying to beat that so hard because I know like there's games I still want to get to, and then Dying Light 2 is coming out in a couple weeks. Ugh.
Yeah, that 500-hour game, you gotta, you can probably wrap that up in like a week.
Yeah, I could probably knock it out in a week. How many hours are there in a day? 24.
Yeah.
Math. Yeah, I think I can do it.
You could do it.
We'll see.
I believe in you.
We'll see.
I mean, the game is only like 20 hours if you play the way normal people play it. So
yeah.
That would be what? Probably like 40 for you, I guess.
I think about like, was it 20 or was it like 20 or 30?
They said 100% completion to see everything in the game is 500 hours. But
yeah, that's true.
The campaign with a few side missions here and there is about 20 hours.
Okay, that's fine. I can do that.
Yeah.
What? Like that's the thing, man. Like, why do they have to make games so long?
I know. It's like a detriment now. Like it used to be like a huge selling point, but there are so many games coming out every single day, literally every day, every day. That like
you go in the store and you check something out, and there's a new game there.
Yeah, it's not like when we were kids and we would get like 2 games for Christmas, and that would be our games for the year, right? Mm-hmm. And then you just be like, oh man, I hope this game doesn't suck because we've been playing for a while. Yeah. Now it's like, Game Pass, I can download 12 games today and see which one I like best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the nowadays, yeah, it's like especially like the last month and a half, I've been through like a buying a new game drought thing where like a big game. So I was talking about picking up like the Uncharted Legacy Collection for the PlayStation 5 this week, and I'm like, why do I? Or Pat actually on my podcast, he's like, why do you need to do that? And I was like, cause I wanna.
Like, you say why not, Pat?
Yeah, because I wanna. Like, I like the game, and he's like, but you have it for the PlayStation 4, and I'm like, yeah, but the PlayStation 5 version.
But the graphics, the 4K and the 60.
Yeah, but it's all better, just slightly better.
Oh man, Uncharted, PlayStation's best series right now.
Honestly, yeah, like it's such a even especially that one, like Uncharted 4, if that's the last of Nathan Drake's story, which I hope they stick to that. Mm-hmm. Like, man, what a way to go out.
I bet they do. I bet the next one is spoiler. Well, I shouldn't spoil it, but the character they introduce in that game, I bet it follows that character.
I really hope so.
Yeah,
I really hope so.
Yeah. So, man, I know that's kind of like a hot take that Uncharted is PlayStation's best franchise, but in terms of games that I like to play, Uncharted is my numero uno for them. And then Horizon, close number 2.
Mm-hmm.
God of War is probably up there.
I would say God of War is probably my top, if not one of my tops. When we talked about when we were on Crossroads last week and we started talking about some of our favorite memories and little bits from the more recent God of War, it made me want to like jump back into it again. Mm-hmm. Like, it was such a good game, and it was actually probably the most impactful story-wise compared to all the other ones.
Yeah, when and if I get a PlayStation 5 at some point, I will replay that game. When I played it, like, I played it so sporadically because at the time we were trying to like really rev this up, and like my daughter was like being born in the middle of it, and we were trying to figure out kind of what to do. So I played like half of it before my daughter was born, and then I went back like 6 months later and finished it. Mm-hmm. So like my cohesiveness of God of War 2018 is not exactly the greatest. So like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just remember not liking the map system. I thought the map system kind of sucked, and the menus overall kind of sucked. But
yeah, honestly, the user interface, like going through like implanting crystals into your weapons and stuff like that and all that, like yeah, I don't know, it left a lot to be desired.
Yeah,
I'll give you that one.
But I don't know, I kind of want to go back and play it because I really like God of War as a series. I'm one of those old God of War defenders because retroactively it kind of seems like people don't care for those ones somehow when they were like the biggest thing on the planet back then. Well,
they were like God of War 2 when it first came out, like you thought like, how the hell could you top the first one? The first one was so over the top, and then God of War 2 comes out and your first battle is fighting Ares, the God of War, for fuck's sake. Like, wow, what an opening.
God of War 2. Wait, no, you fight the statue. The
yeah, but you fight the statue, but Ares is in the background.
Is he? I thought you. Are you sure?
Ares, yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
I thought you killed Ares in the first one. That's the final battle in the first one.
God of War 2. Oh, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But...
yeah, whatever. God of War, good series. I enjoyed it. I even enjoyed Ascension.
You're right. Actually, you're right because
it turned into a fighting game almost because it had like the 2 bars at the top.
Yeah. That was at the end because, I remember in the beginning, like, he's sitting on the throne and he's like, I'm bored. I'm just going to go intervene in this civil war here. And he just drops down and he's like fighting a big statue. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Man. I was a God of War fan too at one point. Jesus.
Yeah. God of War 2 is so good.
Yeah.
Also, it really bothers me that people are calling God of War Ragnarok God of War 2. It really bothers me.
Because it's not God of War 2.
No, it's God of War 5, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Well, even like the last God of War to have come out, like, I know it's a reboot and like,
but it's not a reboot.
It's not a reboot, really. So like, they could have called it at least something.
It's like one of those sequels where they like, if you played the other ones, you get a lot more out of it, but you can go in and enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
Games.
It's okay. It's so hard nowadays because even like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like, oh, that's the best Call of Duty game out there right now, and it's like, which one? And it's like, well, both of them actually. They were both like pretty solid.
Yeah, I want to play the new one, but I'll probably just wait till it comes to the Game Pass now.
Yeah, no kidding. See, and that's kind of the funny thing. Like, people are complaining like, oh, Call of Duty Vanguard is one of the lowest selling Call of Duty games, you know, in recent history. So like Call of Duty's dying. And it's like, yeah, but it was the #1 best-selling game of 2021 still.
I know.
Like,
it's ridiculous.
How crazy is that?
It did that in what, 7 weeks? Like, it's ridiculous. That's so stupid. Yeah. That's so stupid. Like,
but that's the funny thing, because it barely beat out Cold War.
Yeah. Yeah, because Cold War was 3 because Halo was 2, right? That's which was impressive that Halo was number 2, considering it's on Game Pass. And the multiplayer is free. Like, that was the other thing.
Did they count Game Pass subscribers in that? No? Okay.
Nope.
I always wondered that if, like, sales numbers, they count that for...
Well, MPD is weird because they count how much money the game earns.
So they do the math after that?
Yeah. But, like, I don't know if microtransactions are included in that. Sometimes people say they are, and sometimes people say they aren't, which is why Grand Theft Auto is on these lists all the time. But, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
One of us would probably figure that out someday. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. That is man, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
There's people that get paid a hell of a lot more than I do that figure that shit out.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times though. Video games.
Yeah.
Video games are fun.
How have you been, man? That was a hell of a news week last week.
Oh, I know. Gosh, dude, I'm like, I want to hear more about this deal, but I'm tired of everybody's hot takes about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, man, it's just like every show I listen to is like, if it's a PlayStation show, everybody's pissed off. If it's an Xbox show, everybody's like, oh, this is great for Game Pass, but what does it do for the industry? I'm just like, look, I get it. There's a lot of ramifications that are going to happen with this deal. But as somebody who primarily plays on Xbox and a Game Pass subscriber, I'm very excited that I get more games to play.
Yeah, honestly. And what I'm excited for is, you know, and this isn't confirmed yet, but at the very least, Phil Spencer's talks lately have made it known that we could get more franchises out of this.
I know.
And we could get more of these studios that, you know, Ravensoft, you know, even like Treyarch and Sledgehammer Games, like get some of those developers, High Moon Studios, Beanox, get some of those studios to actually make games again.
Yeah, we're gonna talk
not
about
be
that.
Call of Duty factors.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later because we're gonna talk about that statement second, I think, in our headlines. But man, good. This is like a. So on that point, yeah, okay. People were talking about how Microsoft has agreed to purchase Activision Blizzard pending any whatever. People are like, well, who's Sony going to buy? Who's Sony going to buy? I heard a take on a podcast this weekend.
Yeah.
What if somebody tries to acquire Sony? Like Amazon or Google or Tencent or someone like that. Because Sony's technically small enough to be purchased like that.
Yeah, but you run into the problem of, I mean, even like we know the federal government is investigating this buyout of Activision by Microsoft because they wanted to make sure it's not like, I forget what the term is, but like it's not like in threat of a monopoly.
It's an oligopoly or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. Where like, if this is a fair trade, and if there's like, I mean, if it's done fairly, like it's not Microsoft's attempt to try to, you know, establish dominance.
Yeah, but I saw a stat this year that said even if Microsoft pulls Call of Duty, which Phil Spencer made a comment about that too, which I still have questions about, but you know. Sony only made from Activision Blizzard games. They only made $270.6 million worth of profit when their entire gaming channel, like their entire gaming division last year, made like $6 or $7 billion.
That's weird because more people play Call of Duty on PlayStation systems than anything. But maybe that leads it to believe that video game sales numbers were so low this year compared to previous years.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I saw that stat from, I forget who I saw it from. Some analyst, some insider guy, person. One of the people that people follow to find out information.
I think Sony's too big of a company to be bought out like that because, it's. I mean, unless you're buying the like SCE, like Sony Computer Entertainment Division, which would be probably an easier acquisition than, Sony altogether. Because like when you're thinking Sony, you're thinking the TVs and the Blu-ray players and all their hardware and stuff like that. So
yeah, but okay, so I just looked it up, and as of April 2021, Sony was valued at $22.67 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Which, even if somebody bought them out for double that, like that's still a third less than what Microsoft bought Activision for.
Right. Yeah.
So, and like someone like Apple or Amazon could easily go in there and just buy them out, if they wanted to.
Both, like Google
or Netflix.
tried.
Netflix was the one that I heard. That was the one that I heard was Netflix. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just remembered.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. It's just like it just seems so far fetched because anybody new that wants to get into the video game world, that wants to try, to make video games, like obviously Amazon's tried. Mm-hmm. They're having somewhat success with New World right now, but Google has tried and they failed. Apple has tried and they're just, they're struggling, but they're not making numbers like Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo are.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even with this buyout, Microsoft is still in third place, right? So, like,
yeah,
there's two things that Microsoft can point to, right? Like, nobody's ever told anybody no to being in third place, and they could just point at Disney and say, "Well, you guys let Disney do this, 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 and this."
Yeah, right.
So, I don't know. It's crazy times in video games.
No, yeah, it really is, and it leaves so many unknowns. But the one thing I'm hopeful for is that the developers are taken care of. Bobby Kotick is, he should be out now. Mm-hmm. Especially, I don't know if you heard about this that meeting that he showed up late to and left early for. No, yeah, dude shows up to this like kind of company-wide meeting of like, hey, he's gonna alleviate a lot of concerns about the buyout. Dude shows up late, rambles on about whatever this company's important to me, right underneath my kids and stuff like that, and then dude jets early. Like, good. What a dick.
He's done. I mean, that just tells me right there that he's done, right? He's just going to ride this out until next year and fly out on his $300 million parachute, right? That's it. He's done.
Yeah. Yeah, and he is, there's nothing that can be done right now. I mean, you could have the board vote him out, or, he could get caught in doing something really stupid, but he's not going to willingly go out on his own. Yeah. Like, he's not. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing we can do about it right now.
Yeah. You think he gets another job in the industry as like a consultant or something at some point?
Not in video games. Maybe business.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he could probably be like a public speaker. Like a lot of these big investors, they become public speakers for years, and they make killing. They make a killing.
I know.
He goes to some big convention or something like that and gives a talk, and he could get paid millions of dollars just doing that for crying out loud.
Yeah. I wonder if he will, though. Like, I mean, he's leaving with a $300 million check in his pocket on top of the money he's made over the last 25 years. So, he bought, or he either bought or invested in Activision for $500,000.
Wow.
And turned them into this, obviously, $68.7 billion sale.
Well, I mean, on paper, he's a good businessman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, say what you will about the guy being a dick or whatever, but like, clearly knows what he's doing on the business end. So
yeah, so
and
that's
clearly
why
knows how to get out of things when he thinks he's going to get in trouble too, right? Like
yeah, and that's never stopped anybody from like getting a job elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like some other company will be like, hey, they'll absorb him, probably pay him a hell of a lot more than what Activision paid him. He'll be fine.
I mean, he could also be like a shadow investor or something too. It's somewhere too, or like a board member, a shadow board member somewhere, or be completely fine. But man, big news.
It's just the money aspect of things like that. Like people never get their comeuppances.
Mm-hmm.
The more money they make, the more money that they can walk away from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you have all these problems going on at Activision Blizzard, and like he'll be known for that forever. But then again, business side, money talks.
He'll be fine.
He will be just fine.
Yep.
All right. Well, that was a good discussion.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, if this is your first time, this is Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast. We are part of the Boss Rush Network. You can catch us live on Twitch every Sunday night or on podcast services and YouTube on Tuesday mornings. If you listen on iTunes or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star rating. It really helps us out. Really appreciate those 5-star ratings popping up on Spotify recently. Really appreciate you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all of our shows and content on bossrush.net. Get your Arsenal X merch on the Boss Rush store. We have shirts, stickers, mugs, hoodies, and more. Get Stoy's Sick shirt.
Sick.
It's cool. Love it. But you can click on the store icon on our website or go to Redbubble and look for Boss Rush Network. The redbubble.com/Boss Rush Network link is broken, so I got to figure out how to fix that. So just search for Boss Rush Network. You should find us. I don't know why it's broken, but it's broken, so I got to figure it out.
That's weird.
Yeah. I should just create a link that says bossrush.net/store, and it would take you right there. But
yeah, there you go.
Good idea, me. Self-5.
Yeah, nice work.
I just self-5 myself online, live on the internet. So that's now I don't know what to do with my hands. Stoy, gosh, let's just jump into what we've been playing. Get me out of here. Stoy, have you play anything interesting or pick anything up? Anything cool up?
Did you notice that there was a big backwards compatibility sale on Xbox?
Oh, did I?
Oh my God, I spent like a lot of money.
Yeah, I know.
For
I did.
a lot. Well, not a lot of money for a lot of games.
I know. Yeah.
I ended up picking up Max Payne 3. I picked up.
It's still going on, right? Today's the last day. Sunday.
I think today. Today Sunday's the last day. So I think by the time you listen to this, it's already done.
Yeah.
I thought it said 2 days as of yesterday.
Well, maybe Tuesday the last day, because don't sales usually start on Wednesday?
Yeah, usually.
Okay, then it might be through Wednesday.
Check the store, I guess, if you're listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I ended up. I'm trying to remember. I picked up Asura's Wrath because the physical copy of Asura's Wrath is like going for really expensive right now. Let's see, Spec Ops: The Line.
Ooh, good one.
Time Splitters 2.
I picked up 2 and Future Perfect. I never played Future Perfect, but I like 2.
2 was like probably one of my favorite shooters. Mm-hmm. So far ahead of its time, both in like kind of like I think in animation, like cutscene animation. Mm-hmm. Like even playing it now, like I played a little bit of it. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty ahead of its time because the game is like well over 20 years old.
Yeah, does it hold up? I mean, does it hold up? Is controls and everything good?
Yeah. The dead zone of looking around.
Yeah.
Is it's pretty rough. But you turn on auto aim and you'll be okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's auto aim. Yeah, because this was like the Splinter Group from Rare, right? That went on to create this, right? Like the 007 and Perfect Dark original team that went on to do this. Because I remember it was like they were like, okay, well, if you want a continuation of like GoldenEye, you go to Time Splitters, and if you want something like Halo, you go towards Halo and like.
Oh my God! And yeah, you remember playing Time Splitters 2, the user interface.
Yeah.
So reminiscent of GoldenEye.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Time Splitters, man, what a game! It was only like what, $2.50 for
$2. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like $5 for both of them total, and I was like, man, this is a steal.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think exactly because I was just like add to cart, mm-hmm. And But what I played the most of, what I was most excited for, was Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And Future Soldier was probably, honestly, the best. Hey, yeah, I guess I would say that it's like the best Ghost Recon has ever been, because it was like, you know, I talked about how Tom Clancy games are very, you know, technical and very realistic in terms of the way they treat their, I guess the way they treat their like Spec Ops type soldiers and their movements, their characteristics and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And tactics. And this game was so spot on with like your computer AI companions are like calling out like where the enemies are, tagging them, you know, where is he? He's right by the truck, he's right by this. And you have that optical camouflage thing where like you could squat down and like your whole body like kind of turns translucent, so like you know, enemies can't see you right away unless you're like standing right in front of them.
Yeah, I remember that game was so cool.
It really was.
I was obsessed with that game when it came out.
Yeah, I played through that campaign when it first came out. I played through that campaign multiple times. Like I would finish it and I'd be like, all right, starting right over. Like,
yeah,
it was so good. And so I logged in quite a few hours of that. Unfortunately, we got Wildlands afterwards. I think that was the one that came out after that.
It was.
And Wildlands was good.
It was good. It was good, but it was like a good co-op game. It wasn't like necessarily like a Ghost Recon tactical shooter game. Especially
and that's what I missed from it.
Yeah, I mean, if you played by yourself, they had that like you can mark the enemies, right, and take them out.
But shot.
Yeah, that ended up being in like all the games though, right? Because I think Splinter Cell Blacklist had that too with the drones too, and I think Watch Dogs actually ended up with something like that in Watch Dogs 2 maybe. With drones, I don't know. I just remember.
Yeah. I think so with drones, and like you can have it to where it like takes out multiple ones. But Future Soldier was where the sync shot like first came up. I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because I remember like tagging it. I mean, sometimes you could play through an entire level and not take a single shot. Like you could just have your, you know, AI companions like take the shots for you.
Yeah.
And just keep moving.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Future Soldier's so good. If you guys are listening to this and it's still available, get it. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean it actually holds up pretty good. Like
I think I actually picked it up too digitally because I have the disc, but I got it digitally. I think I did.
Yeah, you can play this. You can play through the story in co-op actually.
Yeah.
So it's just really cool.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
Otherwise, I played Rainbow Six Extraction. Had a terrible time of it playing co-op.
Ooh, you did?
Yeah, but I had a lot more fun playing Lone Wolf, which is interesting because in Siege it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Like in Siege, when you play with more characters or you play with more people, it becomes easier and manageable. And playing by yourself is like awful. Like where the game doesn't scale the difficulty. Because and they tell you when you play Lone Wolf in Rainbow Six Siege, like, oh yeah, we're not going to scale down the difficulty just because you're playing by yourself. So it's like, okay, I understand that. In Siege or in Extraction, they scale up the difficulty the more people that you're playing with. Like I was playing with two other of my friends, and it was like we were having a terrible time. Like it was just spawning enemies out of nowhere. Really bad hit detection, even for a Rainbow Six game. And just, I don't know, the game looks visually worse than Siege.
Oh, it does?
Which is surprising. Like
it seems like a game that would look better because it's a single player kind of focused, or not like a co-op focused kind of. I don't know. I just feel like multiplayer games take liberties on graphics a little bit. Competitive ones because they want that high frame rate and that high, interaction, right? Like So that surprises me.
Which you're right, but when you make when a game that's like 5-6 years old looks better than the game that you just put out just recently, I mean that says something. Like maybe that wasn't the focus of it. I guess I'm not gonna knock it I'm not gonna knock a game for having bad graphics. But when the game that you released previously has better graphics than the one that you have now, like the character models look better, but they look more anime / cartoony instead of the realistic grittiness that Siege had, which I don't know why they went that route. But
I know that a lot of the cutscenes for their character announcements have gone that way, and I wonder if they're trying to, I don't know, start in small ways, change the art style a little bit to get more in line to, to be more kind of aimed towards like almost like a Fortnite crowd almost. Because like it just seems like everything's going that way, and I like Fortnite's art style. I do. I think it's great. I think it has a real Disney Infinity vibe where like they take all these amazing characters from all these franchises or whatever, and they make it look like it just fits in this universe cohesively, and I really like that. But not everything has to look like Fortnite, right? Like that was that with that PlayStation game that was like a cartoony Twisted Metal. What was it? Destruction All Stars, yeah. Yeah, and I remember that was like that game's biggest complaint was like, this just looks like Fortnite with cars. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you're going to make something look like the most popular game in the world, but there's a place for that, and I appreciate that. Rainbow Six is not that.
No, Rainbow Six is not that. And I think that's one of my main complaints about Extraction is they took it's like, I basically tell people it's like taking Rainbow Six Siege and Back 4 Blood and mixing the two. And we're talking two polar opposite types of like first person shooters. You're taking something that is tactical and you're putting in waves of monster enemies that are, it just doesn't fit together. So that's why I'm kind of confused as to why they made this game. If they'd have maybe changed a little bit of the, I guess maybe not making the enemies so numerous and like spawning like crazy, like randomly, like it probably would have been a better game. But like the fact that you have like, you walk into a room and sometimes they'll spawn like, hey, look, this room has 7 nests in there. And unless you take out all those nests, enemies are going to keep spawning out of those things. If they'd have taken out the entire spawning process of it, it probably would have made the game a lot more manageable, but it just doesn't fit in the Siege universe. And I don't know. It's just like, it's strange for me to say because like when I played it solo by myself, I was having fun. Like I was actually completed the objective. It was manageable. The enemies weren't too numerous. Like it was, you could sneak around and be good. Like, especially doing your objectives because you have certain objectives like, oh, you have to like, collect data. You have to capture one of the elite bosses, or sometimes you have to like rescue a soldier. And, there's cool things about that, but it just doesn't fit with the Rainbow Six Siege model. It just, I don't know. It's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's on Game Pass. I want to check it out because I think it sounds cool. Like, I think the premise of the game sounds cool. Yeah. It kind of disappoints me that you had more fun by yourself.
It is because like I don't want to play with people right now. Like I just don't. Like we had a bad experience. We had quite a few bad experiences. Like we would try going back and forth, and it was just like let's try it again. And like I think because there's a scene where like there's a thing where if you fail in your mission, the Rainbow Six soldiers that you use become MIA. So if you were to complete that mission again, you have to actually go in and rescue them. And it has this weird ass like, cocoon / mini game that is like you have to pull them out of the cocoon at the same time trying to take out these like tentacle pods that are attached to the walls. And like you have a certain time frame to do it, which is kind of asinine the way they thought of it. But this happened to Josh where he said he played and the game glitched out on him where it just black screened him and his friend that played. And they were like, okay, well, obviously we can't see, so we're going to have to restart this campaign. So they restarted the campaign over again because they couldn't play it. And all of a sudden, once they restarted it, they said, oh, yeah, now since you exited out of the game, your 2 soldiers are now lost. It's like, well, that's so stupid, But
that's so stupid. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't. That's I don't know. I was just like, come on, man. But I don't want to talk about the game more. Let's talk about. I want to talk about paparazzi.
Yeah, let's talk about paparazzi.
Dude, like, I was. This is on Game Pass too as well, and I think you're gonna have a much more fun experience playing this game than Rainbow Six Extraction. I mean, it's a completely different game. You're a camera with arms and legs, right? And you're walking around these towns and these locals or locales, and you're taking pictures of dogs. Some of the dogs are wearing glasses. Some of the dogs are wearing hats. Some of the dogs are skateboarding. Some of the dogs are riding bicycles. Some of the dogs are just sitting on the park bench, just chilling with another dog. Some of the other dogs are like riding wakeboards, and you got so many different dogs just like doing random things, and you're taking pictures of them all.
I mean, you can
pet the dogs.
You can pet the dogs.
Yes, you can throw the stick.
That was a concern, was if you could pet the dog or not.
Oh, if they'd have made it impossible to pet the dog, that would have been no.
That would have been a big miss for them. A
big
game
miss.
Literally about taking pictures of dogs. If you couldn't pet the dog, that's just just telling you.
The so you could actually play fetch with them. There was a particular, so you'll get objectives every locale that you're in, where like, okay, here's a picture objective. You have to take a picture of a dog on a bike, or you have to take a picture of a dog in this video arcade, and you have to, or in this particular scenario, you have to get this shy Dalmatian dog, and you have to take a picture of his face. And this particular sequence, I was just playing it just recently, where this dog, every time he's running around, he's not looking at you. So it's like you can't really take a picture of him. So you have to lure him out with a puppy treat. It's called like a Frogurt, basically. So it's like when you do that, 8 dogs all of a sudden run up to you, and they're like, I want the treat. And like you're trying to like reach the actual Dalmatian, and you want to give that Dalmatian that particular treat. But like another dog will come in and snatch it. And like, oh, man, this sucks. And so then sometimes you could try to snatch it back from his mouth, if you're lucky, but otherwise, once they eat it, then that's it, and then the Dalmatian runs away. So that took a long time. But you get them out, for completing objectives. You get followers because you can actually post these pictures on the Dognet, and people can like it based on the content of your pictures and what the dogs are wearing. Composition, there's different film that you can use, there's different filters and lenses and stuff like that, and some dogs will do particular things and particular maneuvers, whatever. So this game, it's so cute.
It sounds better than Deer Simulator, I'll tell you that.
Sure. Oh, it does, and it's my game of the year so far.
Seriously?
No.
Right
now it's probably the best game. I don't know. It's relaxing.
Yeah.
It's really relaxing. And my wife is watching me play it because she's like, she just finally today like got off of quarantine or whatever, so she's like entering the world again, and she's like, "Can I watch you play video games?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "What game do you want me to watch?" And she's like, "Well, what have you been playing this week?" And I was like, "I got one for you." Because she's a big dog lover. So we got 2 dogs of our own. So I was like, you want to watch me play a game where I just take pictures of dogs and hats? And she's like, yes. So, yeah.
Dogs and hats.
That's really what I've been playing. I've been playing so many other things, but those are the highlights.
Cool. I haven't played too much because I'm leaving on Tuesday for a work trip, and I've been trying to get a lot of other things done between work and this, and finishing up some other things that I had already started, and I'm trying to get everything finished before I go, so I don't have to worry about it. So I finished Guardians, which I talked about last week, and like when you finish a game and you just stare at all the games that you own, and you're just like, what do I play next? And I have no idea what I want to play next.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So I played a bunch of little things. Like I played some more Halo. Definitely played some more Halo. I played some Cyber Shadow today because I noticed it was leaving Game Pass. I was like, oh well, that's a game I wanted to get to, and after Tuesday, it's gone at the end, at the end of the month or something. So
yeah, I bought it, or I have it sitting on my Game Pass. I played it a long time ago when it came out, and I have to actually buy it because I do like it. I want to keep it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll probably, because I think it's 20% off now.
Yeah.
Because it's leaving, so I might end up just buying it and playing it. So
it's $17.
Yeah.
So it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth the full 20 if you miss the sale. But
yeah,
I played a little bit of that, and I forgot, like, when I originally played it, how much I liked it, and then I put it down and just never went back. And I was like, oh yeah, this game is it's pretty good. It feels good. Like, it definitely feels like old school Ninja Gaiden for NES. It definitely has that feel to it, and even down to the diving bird enemies that just suck. They just suck. They just suck.
Yeah.
You know?
They were voted by so many as the worst enemy in video games.
Yeah. Well, you're not wrong, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I played that, and then I've been playing more Metroid Dread because I think that I want to finish that game before I start something else, because I was going to start Mass Effect, but I don't want to start it and then go on a trip and then come back, right? Like, I want to play it. So I'm going to probably start that next weekend when I get back, because I get back Saturday. So I'll probably play Saturday night and have a whole slew of things to talk about with Mass Effect.
It is kind of funny how, like, when you want to play a Mass Effect game, you're like, you got to make sure all, like, distractions in your life are gone and done. And you have to make sure everything in your life is set and in order. You got days to play, to focus, to just dive right in. Yeah.
It's more like you need, like, at least like a 4-hour window to get yourself through Eden Prime and the Citadel. And then after that, you can play for like an hour, half hour here, hour there, right? But like, getting through the Citadel is like the big thing, and I'm just like, I got to get through this in one night, where else I'm just going to be like.
Well, yeah, I think the Citadel is like half the freaking game. Like, when you're trying to gather up enough evidence to go out there and try to hunt for Saren. So
yeah. Wow. So sorry, I got a text from my wife that said our snowplow guy is not coming.
Ah.
So sweet. He can't make it till Tuesday. It's Sunday.
Wow. It's Sunday. Yeah, I got to actually bust out the snowblower for the first time this winter so far today.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, I didn't need to, but I was like,
But I wanted to.
Let's go.
Oh, man. Yeah. So I might have to shovel the driveway a little bit after the show, which is always fun to do at like 10:30 at night.
Yeah, right.
It's all right though. I'll do it while this video is processing.
Okay.
That sounds like something I don't want to do.
Yeah, that always takes time.
Yeah. There's something else I played, but I forget. Just like last week, and then I shouted it out like at the end of the show. It's cool. Anyways, it's did you pick anything up? Because I picked some stuff up. Minus your sale, your backwards compatible sale.
I ended up grabbing Legend of Dragoon for the PlayStation. And I brought this up on our Discord that I'd never played that game ever. And I always heard it being like one of the best RPGs on the PlayStation. And I see why. Like,
yeah,
I played it and I was sunk in for like 3-4 hours one day just playing it. And I was like, how did I miss this game when it first came out? Never played it before. So, but
I mean, it's a one-off, right? Like, they never made a sequel or anything?
No, it was a one-off.
Sony first-party RPG, right?
Yeah, and I think Square Enix owns the rights to it, so it's just, man.
Yeah, I always heard it was good, but also Final Fantasy was available. So
I know, and obviously I think that took over. Final Fantasy 8 and 9, those are the big RPGs, and maybe that's why I forgot about it, because even like Chrono Cross was one of the bigger RPGs to come out during that era.
Right.
Like PlayStation 1, man, had some banging RPGs at that time, I remember.
Yeah, it was after the Super Nintendo, like PS1 kind of took over as the JRPG machine, right? Because you had all the Final Fantasy, you had Wild Arms, you had Chrono Cross, Legend of Dragoon, Saga Frontier, Vagrant Story, which is one of my favorites.
Yep.
So
even like Valkyrie Profile, like
yeah.
Honestly, like Sony could capitalize on that.
They could.
If they work like a really good deal with Sony, like if Sony could work a really good deal with Square Enix to make these exclusive RPGs on their system, dude.
Right. I mean, they already are pretty much, right, with Final Fantasy and
with Final Fantasy VII Remake, yeah.
I enjoy Sony's first party games, but like the fact that Square's RPGs are being kept off of Xbox is like why I want a PlayStation 5, to be 1,000% honest with you.
Yeah.
Like after hearing how great the Final Fantasy VII Remake was, and Forspoken looks really cool and interesting, and Final Fantasy 16 looks like the best RPG since
Yeah.
That's
imagine if they got off their asses and and even if they made a Legend of Dragoon remake, it would be amazing.
Which was a rumor from Bluepoint for a while, right? Because they tweeted, they had that tweet where they did all like the rumored remakes or whatever in one tweet. It was like Metal Gear and Legend of Dragoon and Demon Souls, which we got, and like it was just like all of them.
Yeah.
Man, Castlevania I think was one somewhere in there. Just give it.
Oh yeah. Man. I mean, yeah. I mean, it sucks to be known as like a remake factory, in terms of Bluepoint, but I mean, you could really take a game and make it your own.
Yeah.
Especially something like Legend of Dragoon, you could really.
Yeah.
I mean, you could really make it out, but I mean, that was kind of the biggest thing. That was really the biggest thing I picked up this last week.
How
about you?
I picked up these little controller display things off of Amazon. So I have my Project Scorpio controller on this little stand, and I have a day one controller coming.
Those are on Amazon.
These stands, yeah, they're $16. Yeah. They're just you put them together. They come with little like sticky attachments and then these little feet that keep it kind of little bit elevated. And they fit all controllers. They in the picture on Amazon they have they have Switch, PS4, PS5, and all kind of Xbox controllers on them. I also have my original Duke controller sitting on one because it's cool. Obviously the wire gets in the way, but I just have it wrapped up nicely in a rubber band and in this little crevice underneath this little area right here. I just have it wrapped up in there. It actually looks pretty nice. I just don't want to move it because it'll come undone. But I bought two because I'm like, I want to see what they look like before I get more, and I actually just ordered two more because I want my day one controller on it and I want my Gears Xbox 360 controller on it. And then when I move my office, I have a shelf and a display shelf that I'm going to display them all on. And then
we got to pitch ideas back and forth because I keep looking around. I actually have a weapons wall right by my TV, and I have the large lifelike Lancer hanging on it.
Yeah, I have both. I have the Lancer and the Retro Lancer in my basement right now.
Oh, you got the Retro Lancer?
Yeah.
Oh man, I've been trying to look for that for so long, but it's so expensive.
I can send you it if you want.
You don't want it?
I mean, I don't have anywhere to put it, and I know that you would appreciate it much more than my daughter will one day.
Well, yes. So I mean, we'll talk more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would definitely love that.
Yeah.
I have the plasma sword, and I have there's what was the name of that Halo gun that had the two blades in the bottom of it?
The two blades, like the brute one.
Yeah, where it's like basically the melee was like you actually taking that and like pistol whipping them.
Yeah, I don't remember what that was called, but I know which one you're talking about. But
I'm gonna have to Google that. But I have that Nerf gun actually hanging on my wall too. Yeah. But I have a bunch of other different like weapons on my wall. But I kind of wanted to do something different because I still have some open space that I want to like put stuff on. So yeah, we're gonna have to pitch some ideas back and forth.
Yeah. Let's see. The one with it says it's called the Type 25 Carbine. The one with the two blades on the bottom, right?
Yeah, it's like two hook blades.
Yeah. Yeah, this is clearly that.
Yeah, the Type 25. That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have that Nerf gun on my wall.
Cool.
And let me tell you, if you get shot in the eye with that thing, it hurts.
I bet it does.
Not to say that's ever happened to me before, but
sure sounds like it has.
I mean, it could have happened. I don't know.
It's one of those days. It definitely didn't happen to me ever. But I also picked up the 20th anniversary stand for my 20th anniversary controller.
Oh, nice.
So it's actually a charger, but I'm using it as a stand because I don't want to use this controller. I just want to display it. I actually thought about getting a second one to use and one to display.
Honestly, that controller is so nice. I don't know. I really like using that thing.
I like everything about it except for the rubberized grips.
Yeah, that's right. He told me about that.
Man, I wish they would give us that option in the Xbox Design Lab for that like slick kind of feel, because it feels like a Switch Pro controller, which I also like. But man, if you could just get a controller with that on it, you'd be like, oh man.
Well, that's why I'm surprised even from the Design Lab, the Xbox Design Lab, like that see-through isn't a color option. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, can't please them all.
Can't please them all.
Nope.
Man, this guy, this snowplow guy is angering my family.
Oh God.
It's becoming a saga.
I'm really happy about that Retro Lancer.
Yeah, they won't like that when I charge down my driveway and shove it through their... No, I'm just kidding. Snowplow guy ends up dead in my driveway. Somebody listens to this podcast. They're going to try to put two and two together. Oh, no.
Yeah, no. No, that was a different Corey.
Yeah. It was that guy over there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Stoy, what do you say we talk about some of this news crap?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So we're not going to talk about the entirety of the purchase because we already did an episode on that, an emergency episode last week, which feels like 12 weeks ago at this point. But we are going to talk about some of the things that came out of that. Like Phil Spencer in a recent tweet stated that Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation, but in what form? Late in the week, Phil Spencer made a statement concerning this question, although the answer may not be as clear as fans were hoping for, most likely for legal reasons. He did state that Xbox would, quote, honor all existing agreements Activision Blizzard currently holds with Sony and keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. The tweet said, had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry, and we value our relationship. So,
you know, I mean, they said something similar when they talked about the Bethesda acquisition.
Yes, it sounds very familiar, which I also have that quote in this article on bossrush.net. I have that. Here's what he said upon acquiring Bethesda. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to support those games on the platforms that they are on. Their communities, there are communities of players. We love those players, and we're going to invest in them.
You're going to invest in them, but they're going to have to buy your system. I mean, that's kind of one of those things. Like, I would see probably the next 2 years Call of Duty. Like, if they continue with the yearly format. Because I imagine every Call of Duty studio right now is in active development for the next Call of Duty. So it's not like they could just tell them, abandon your projects, you're doing other things. So I imagine any further Call of Duty game that they make that hasn't even begun pre-production yet, it's going to move to Xbox exclusive as of next year.
Yeah. I wonder how long that exclusive agreement was that they signed originally with PlayStation. Because like I remember the Xbox one that they signed with when they were kind of doing the exclusive thing on Xbox 360, I think was like 5 or 7 years, I think, initially. And then when that deal was up, they signed with Sony because they were the clear winner in that PlayStation 4, Xbox One generation. But I wonder if they signed like a similar deal, like a 10-year deal or something, or if it's just like I don't know. But what I was also thinking was they would go the Fallout 76 and ESO route, right? Which we kind of talked about already. Which would be like Call of Duty Warzone has a huge community on PlayStation.
Yes.
That's how they would keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. And then the campaigns. Also, I also thought about what if they incorporated like the multiplayer suite of Call of Duty into Warzone, right? With like Team Deathmatch and all this other thing. And that's where like the multiplayer hub would live. And then the campaigns would be exclusive to Xbox Game Pass.
I would see that as be the more realistic approach.
Yeah. Because like to me, it doesn't seem realistic to keep Warzone separate from the other multiplayer modes. It just doesn't. And I don't know if that's like a technical issue or since I have so many studios working on everything all the time that like they're just not connecting.
Yeah.
But to me, that doesn't seem like that would be the option. Like to me, that seems like the easy option is just keep multiplayer. Like Warzone would be like a game mode in a multiplayer suite for Call of Duty. And then they would add all the new, like the new game stuff into Warzone and the multiplayer stuff and new maps and stuff. And then the campaigns would be on Xbox only.
Yeah. I mean, kind of thinking about the future of how Halo Infinite's going to be. You know, I mean, they're keeping that multiplayer suite open for like at least 10 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, any other story content updates that we get is probably going to obviously come in a separate package. But, you know, I see that the same thing with, you know, with them is like they're going to, I think, story campaigns may be separate. That'll come exclusively to Game Pass, or you could buy it if you're not a Game Pass subscriber. But Sony's going to miss out on all that.
Yeah.
Is that going to hurt them? Probably not, because I mean, we all know the high majority of players that play Call of Duty are playing multiplayer. There's a small minority of people that play the campaign only, myself included.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain campaigns that I played, like I want to play or have played. Like I really like the Black Ops campaigns. I like the Modern Warfare campaigns. I didn't play Infinite Warfare. I didn't play Advanced Warfare. I didn't play Vanguard is the most recent one. Like I'm not going to go out and spend $60 or even $40 on the older games, right? Like I was like, I wonder how much Call of Duty Black Ops is digitally, because I was like, I really want to revisit the first two campaigns. They're still like $40.
Yeah, they still are really like a lot of money.
I'm like, Jesus, dude.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the year, a lot of those games come on Game Pass.
Yeah. Man, remember when they said backwards compatibility was over? Well, I guess those games are already backwards compatible, right? So,
yeah. I don't think it's over. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either. So
I just think they don't have anything new to share. Like, you know, I mean, it's probably going to be a while before we get another update, but I really don't think it's over.
Yeah, I don't either. I think, especially with like, I mean, not just Call of Duty, but you think of like all the Spyro games, or even the bad Crash games that came out during the original Xbox or Xbox 360 era. You think of, even Microsoft worked their magic to get some of those old Marvel games. Imagine when this deal closes, if they announce Marvel Ultimate Alliance or X-Men Legends coming back, right? Like,
dude,
or even the Transformers games. Like that would be so big.
That. Is X-Men Origins Wolverine? Is that backwards compatible?
None of them.
God, if it needs to be.
I know.
It needs to be.
Look,
that was Raven Software's last biggest game. Like, and that was amazing.
Which, okay, so let's just jump into the next story here real quick, because we're kind of transitioning into that. Microsoft will encourage Activision Blizzard Studios to explore dormant IP. In a recent interview with the Washington Post, CEO of Microsoft Gaming, Phil Spencer, addressed many different aspects of the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, including how Microsoft would develop the IP owned by the mega publisher. In the interview, Spencer highlighted franchises such as Hexen, Spyro the Dragon, King's Quest, Guitar Hero, and more, and that he's, quote, looking forward to the decisions he'll be having with the teams as the deal closes. Quote, we're hoping that we'll be able to work with them when the deal closes to make sure we have resources to work on franchises that I love from my childhood and that the teams really want to get. I'm looking forward to these conversations. I really think it's about adding resources and increasing capability.
I'm kind of starting to think that it's financially beneficial for if Microsoft is going to spend all this money on all these development studios. What was there, like 12, I think, in this process?
Mm-hmm.
5 or 6 of them are developing for one game.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean,
financially,
at one point, all of everything outside of Blizzard was working on Call of Duty.
I know, and to buy that many studios and have over half of those studios dedicated to making one game, hugely, I mean, financially irresponsible on Microsoft's part. So it's beneficial for him to have these discussions to say, listen, you answer to me now. I'm your boss. Mm-hmm. You know, we need Spencer to come in like Hood Spencer. Mm-hmm. Come in with a backwards cap, Affliction t-shirt, and Bleach Watch jeans, walk into those studios and be like, yo, what kind of game you want to make? We were really thinking about this. Yeah. We were thinking about making this game. He's like, you know what? Nah, dog, I'm done. Go do it. Here's some money. And then he walks out.
Dude, my ex-girlfriend bought me an Affliction t-shirt one time, and I was like, what are you doing?
She wanted you to be something.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, we're not together anymore, so clearly.
You're right. No, yeah. No, but I want to see Phil Spencer I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see that one day.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would really like to see I know Josh originally tweeted this out, but he said he wants the return of StarCraft Ghost.
Oh man.
And
that's a game we haven't heard of since the PlayStation 2 Xbox era.
I know, but there was also a tweet. Let me see if I can bring it up because Josh tweeted me this screenshot. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. I would like to see Singularity 2.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I would love to see a sequel to that because it left itself open for a sequel at the end, and that game was it took the BioShock formula and spun it on its head, man. So good, and it's relegated to the PS3 and Xbox 360 kind of ethos and not backwards compatible. And,
okay, so I found what Josh sent me. He said, so Simu Liu, the star of Marvel's Shang-Chi, tweeted out, he said, please save StarCraft. And he tweeted out a animated GIF of the StarCraft Ghost trailer. And Mike Ibarra just replied with a smiley face.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Look, if Nintendo can revive Metroid Dread, they can revive StarCraft Ghosts. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, StarCraft and games like StarCraft and World of Warcraft aren't going to run well on console. So that was the point of having StarCraft Ghost being a third-person action game. Mm-hmm. You know, that could, it could work. It can work. It's one of those things you need to start taking these franchises and start developing offshoots and stories to them. Imagine kind of a third-person action adventure game set in the Warcraft universe on consoles.
Yeah.
Take these franchises and do something different with them.
Or, I know that World of Warcraft has been bleeding subscriptions for a while now. And
that's Blizzard's fault.
Yeah, I know. It's clearly Blizzard's fault. But
yeah,
what Microsoft could do was totally roll that subscription into a Game Pass subscription. Because
Game Pass for PC. Yeah.
They need an answer. They need an answer for Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Because that thing is a behemoth, right? And I don't know. I feel like we keep forgetting that Xbox has also acquired Blizzard, which includes World of Warcraft and also includes Battle.net, this incredibly popular online infrastructure,
and the MLG.
Yeah. I wonder if Battle.net, because remember when they kind of revamped their entire gamertag thing, that they kind of set it up kind of like Battle.net to where you could, everybody could have the same name, but just have like the Discord style kind of hashtag numbers next to your name. Right. And I wonder, because and Battle.net does the same thing. I wonder if they're going to try to cross-pollinate Xbox Live with Battle.net at some point.
Ooh, that would be daunting.
Do you think they?
I don't even want to think of that,
because they're going to want to have all these games under one online structure, or do they just call it Xbox Battle.net now?
I don't. I honestly, that would just divide the fan base too much.
Yeah,
I really think that they need to kind of keep the ecosphere of Battle.net, MLG, and all these other online communities. They need to keep that the same. And I think Microsoft knows that they don't want to disturb the waters too much to the point where people get out. That could hurt them in the long run.
Yeah.
So I see them kind of keeping things the same, but
yeah, man. I mean, this is a tall task. It's not. We're not going to see this probably for at least 5 years. This is going to be another kind of just big thing,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and they have a whole year and a half to kind of figure out some of the logistics and the development processes and plans and whatever before June 2023.
Right.
But that's it's good that the conversations are happening right now, and I can only imagine what they are talking about.
Yeah.
In the boardrooms.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if man, I know we were kind of talking about Call of Duty staying on PlayStation and how that's going to work, but also their other big shooter is Overwatch, and yeah, they want to support that community, but Overwatch 2 is coming. How do you go about that? Do you just, because we know that Overwatch 1 and 2 multiplayer are going to, you can cross play, right? Mm-hmm. Or do you think that since Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 have already been announced for PlayStation, they're just going to come out?
I think they're just going to come out. I really don't think you can't pull that.
Yeah.
That would disturb the waters too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Those games are also coming to Switch, by the way, which is going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, no kidding.
God, dude. Did you play Overwatch on Switch at all, by the way?
I don't recommend that.
It was on sale.
I really don't recommend it.
It was on sale for $10 last summer, right before all this crap happened, by the way.
Yeah.
The allegations and stuff. So I was like, you know what? $10. I'll try it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not recommended.
No, not recommended. I ended up actually playing it on one of my friend's Switches a while back, and I was like, oof.
Yeah.
This is not a good place for it.
Yeah.
Not a good place for it.
I mean, Doom and Wolfenstein run well enough on Switch. I played through Wolfenstein 2 on Switch when I was still the primary host of Powblock, and that was kind of really the only show that we were doing. And it ran well enough, but also I played it a little bit on Xbox Series X, and it's way nicer. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
But man, yeah, I mean, God, dude, just think about all these games: Overwatch, Diablo. God, there's so many.
Well,
so many games, man.
Yeah, it's so many dormant franchises. Going back to this article, there's so many dormant franchises that are under the Activision umbrella that are just probably sitting in boxes somewhere, just you can have people walking through hey, you remember this? You remember Guitar Hero? We could potentially bring that back if anybody really cares about that, about music rhythm games anymore. Or, Hexen was another one. Him dropping Hexen, I was like, there's a small community of gamers out there that are still keeping this game alive with mods and, other game modes, and there's still a huge fan base for it. I forgot about this game for years.
Yeah. I was trying to find... There was a really nice article on Pure Xbox. These 50-plus Activision games could be coming to Game Pass. And they sectioned it off by, games that are available now and then games that have like Activision lost the license to. So I'm going to read off the games that Activision lost the license to. By the way, before we get there, another game that I would really like to see a Microsoft budget behind is Prototype.
Yes, Prototype 3, you cowards.
Just reboot. I mean, I would just reboot it at this point. But like,
yeah, I suppose
Prototype,
too much time has passed.
Prototype was. If you didn't have a PlayStation, this was the closest thing you're getting to Infamous. It was cool.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, Prototype 1, I realized, like, remember the article that came out that they straight up used the city from Spider-Man 2 in this game?
Yeah.
Which was just hilarious. All right, so all the Cabela's games, Chivalry, Medieval Warfare, Deadpool, Duck Dynasty, Guitar Hero Live, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, Skylanders, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan, which, not a great game, but I still played it because of Ninja Turtles, and it's still fun.
Mm-hmm.
Transformers Devastation, Transformers Fall of Cybertron, Transformers War for Cybertron, Transformers Rise of the Darkspark, and White Knight and Velocity 2X. Which I think Velocity 2X just was released on Switch a little bit ago under like a super duper edition or something. Or maybe the indie team bought the game back. But
it was like a very niche indie title. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool though. It was like this weird kind of action puzzle-y kind of, I don't know. It was a weird game, but I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Geometry
that's a lot. I mean,
Geometry Wars is back.
Wars. Yep. I mean, there's a lot. Like this $68.7 billion or however much it's going to be is, man, it's going to go a long way for him. And I mean, we're not going to see the fruits of their labor, obviously, for quite a few years. But yeah. So.
Yeah, I sent you the link to that, by the way, in case there's something else you wanted to talk about that. But man, also there was like a little thing that said that they were maybe going to bring Guitar Hero back. I'm like, don't rush it. Nobody needs more plastic instruments in their house right now. Just
no, not really.
Just cool it off. Oh man!
Especially if all of a sudden you like stop making it, like
right.
Like that's what happened. That's what happened with Rock Band. Like Rock Band 4 came back out. A lot of people were getting into it. Mad Catz was like making the instruments, and then all of a sudden, like a different company stepped in to make the instruments, and then all of a sudden that company said, "Yeah, we're done. We're not making the instruments anymore." And it's impossible to find the instruments now.
I know, dude. A Guitar Hero guitar is like $100.
Yeah, like they're ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, and like the Xbox ones are like they're like the ones that require like a dongle because they have the original Xbox One's kind of proprietary signal system in it. Mm-hmm. So like those ones cost even more, and it's like, God, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no.
Man. All right. Well, Stoy, I'm kind of tired of talking about Activision Blizzard. As much as like as interesting as it is, like until we get more information. It's just
there really is nothing much that we could talk about anymore.
You know what we can talk about, Stoy? E3.
Or not E3.
E3.
That is the question.
E3 is rumored to be canceled altogether. A few weeks ago, the news broke that E3 2022 was moving to an all-digital event as the ESA stated they were concerned for the Omicron strand of COVID-19. Soon after, some reports were coming out that they had abandoned their dates at the Los Angeles Convention Center in early November, long before the new strand was a concern. Now, a new report has surfaced stating that the event has been canceled altogether. In a TikTok video from VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb, it seems the event is in even more trouble than initially reported. Grubb stated, E3 has been canceled. Well, physically it's been canceled. Digitally, probably also canceled. And that was the end of the video.
See, this whole, like, I think we talked about this, that we called BS on this from the start when they said, like, oh, we're concerned about the Omicron strand of COVID-19, so that's why we're canceling this event. Like, thinking that far ahead in June, like, it seems like you're just using a convenient excuse,
right?
To say
they abandoned their dates in November, which says something totally different.
Yeah, because it was. I don't even think it was. I mean, it was talked about, but it wasn't even anywhere close to being a concern in November.
Yeah, it's. Look, I think like as much as I love E3 and getting together with friends to talk about what's being announced and stuff, and it being kind of like the start of the summer game kind of kickoff and new demos and new announcements and new games and everything, it's so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
E3 is just it's done, I think. Like,
well, historically they've never made it a very friendly place for developers and indie developers to come in. Like, I don't think they've really gone with the times and really made it beneficial, because it's obviously it's run by the ESA, so they want to make as much money as possible. So, I mean, there's a reason why. Oh, you're gonna have to edit that out.
Nope, staying in.
There's a reason why.
Staying in.
Okay, cool. All right, fair enough. There's a reason why like developers and publishers started kind of dropping out, because it's like in this day and age where it's like PlayStation could run their own little event online. Nintendo's been running their own little Treehouse event for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even like 2 years ago, like the last E3, Microsoft wasn't at the E3 grounds. They were at, a theater like down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't even like they did their own thing, but on the same grounds. So
yeah.
I think it's done. Like if it's not going to happen this year, which it doesn't sound like it will be.
Yeah.
Like,
which also like you said, like EA and Xbox aren't technically part of E3 anymore, and like we heard those rumors that Jedi Fallen Order was going to be announced before E3. I wonder if EA knew something. Like, I know that Star Wars Day is May the 4th and whatever, and like that probably has a lot to do with it. But I wonder if EA had knew something beforehand.
Probably, or they said they were going to back out, because I think even like they did their own EA Play, like last year they did their own EA Play event before E3 in general.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think it was like the week before, and then that led into like the pre E3 press conferences, right, with Microsoft and everything.
Yeah,
yeah. Which is crazy. So, like, not to go back to the Microsoft Activision thing, but like, is Microsoft going to try to shove all that into one E3 press conference, like with Bethesda and Activision, or are they just going to be like, are they going to do 3 separate events for each company?
Honestly, they need to do 3 separate events. Like, it's just, I mean, it's just maddening to try to cram all that into one. Like, people they're not going to sit there for 2 hours at a convention and just look at announcement trailer after announcement trailer after announcement, speak and stuff. Like, God, just put it in separate ones.
Yeah. Man. E3.
Yeah. Because Jeff Keighley's still doing his Summer of Games event, because I think after this initial tweet came out that said E3 was canceled, like Jeff Keighley said, like, well, my Summer Games event's still going on.
Yeah. And I wonder if he was making deals to try to, kind of fix what E3 broke. I mean, I know that EA and Microsoft will probably do their own thing still, and like the big ones, but you think of someone like 2K, who, I know Borderlands is coming out this year or whatever. Like, maybe they'll do something, like if somebody only has like 1 or 2 games to show off, they're not going to hold their own thing, right? Like, they're gonna go to Jeff Keighley and be like, hey, can we show our game at your thing? We just have 1 game to show off. We don't need our own press conference. That would make sense, right?
No, and honestly, I think I think smaller conventions like PAX East and stuff like that, PAX West and Summer Games events or whatever, I think that's going to be kind of the way forward. I think the grandness of E3 is done. Mm-hmm. I really think it is, and I think, I mean, the pandemic, I think, probably put the nail in the coffin a little bit faster than it otherwise normally would.
Yeah. Plus,
I mean, I knew they were in trouble when they started inviting like public, when they opened it up to the public.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
it's
that was
man,
like,
you guys must be really desperate.
That was the red flag, because like as companies started backing out, they were losing all that money, and they had to figure out how to make up that money. And like, oh, we'll just invite the public and say we're a public event now.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like, man, how and the tickets for that?
Yeah, they were so expensive, and they didn't even sell out, because people were like, no, like, as much as I want to go to E3 someday, like, I'm not paying what it was something really stupid. It was like 3 times as much as like a PAX ticket, plus booking a hotel in LA, which is probably an exorbitant amount of money. It's just like, I would rather just watch it at home. It's a way better presentation. I can watch, my favorite influencer or YouTuber or streamer cover it, or I can watch IGN's very good coverage of it, or Game Informer. Like, there's so many different ways you can watch this, or even watch it. Like, even us, we would put it on ourselves, and people can hang out with us and do it. And it's just like, man, this is just not whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So I think it's done. If they don't do it this year, then that's it.
Yeah, it's done. I think it's done. The ESA's got to figure something out though, because that's. Yeah. I mean, I think the ESA is important, especially to keep like official government rulings out of our games and stuff, right? Because I know that's like a big concern, and I agree with that to an extent. Like, I think if the industry can manage itself, it should. Yeah. But at the same time,
that's why the ESA was formed. The ESA was formed by government pressure. The government stepped in after the whole like video games and violence debates had happened in the 90s. The government came in to say, listen, you need to regulate yourselves, otherwise we're going to regulate it for you. And you don't want us regulating it. So that's why the ESA was born. So it's not to diminish their role. They're very important in the grand scheme of things, but
yeah. I just think E3 is the way they've been doing things has been so archaic for so long, and they didn't evolve fast enough, and then like you said, the pandemic just put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it really did. So
still looking forward to Xbox, Xbox's conference, and I'm looking forward to Nintendo's Direct. And that was the other thing I was going to bring up. Like, the only really of the big three that was there was Nintendo, and it was only the Treehouse stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Capcom did a small thing. Square Enix did a small and they were like small, little, tiny, like 20-minute presentations. Like, you don't need an E3 for that.
Yeah, no, Nintendo taught us that a long time ago, right? Like, with their directs. So, all right, Stoy, let's get to the wrap up. Xbox Game Pass hits 25 million subscribers after an already busy Tuesday for Microsoft. They also released a statement about their number of gamers who subscribe to Game Pass. The number has officially hit 25 million subscriptions, which is impressive considering everything Xbox has been through over the last decade. Microsoft now owns 33 developers and 3 publishing arms, including Bethesda and pending Activision Blizzard, to bolster their Game Pass library with some of the biggest IP in gaming. It will definitely be a challenge for anyone to say that Game Pass isn't a great deal, especially for fans of Western role-playing games and first-person shooters.
That is at the bare minimum for Microsoft and all its studios that are part of the Game Pass subscription. $250 million a month, at the very least. Like, if you're Game Pass Ultimate and that's $15 a month, like, that's obviously bumps up that number a little bit more. But yeah, $250 million a month,
and that $15 gets you EA Play as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just Titanfall and Star Wars and Dead Space, right? Like that. That's all worth it, right? Mass Effect.
Yep.
Dragon Age.
Yep.
Sports games.
Yeah, FIFA.
Yeah, Madden 22 is hitting Game Pass next week. I'm going to download it and play it.
Really?
Or EA Play, I think.
Oh,
next week? Next week, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I think. So.
Okay. I was going to say that must be in February then.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of sports games, WWE 2K22 has officially been announced, Stoy, with a March release date. After the abrupt cancellation of last year's game and taking a year to regroup, 2K has announced WWE 2K22 with a brand new trailer and the reveal of Rey Mysterio as the cover star and a release date of March 11th, 2022. Using the tagline, "It hits different," Visual Concepts seems to have taken that time to really get back to what made the series popular in the first place. WWE 2K22 will include fan favorite GM mode, the Showcase mode, which focuses on Rey Mysterio and his career, My Faction modes, My Rise mode, and a story mode that focuses on the different stories for creative male and female wrestlers, and an in-depth creative suite for players to create and share cross-platform.
I hope it works out for them.
Yeah. From what I hear. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, we're probably going to say the same thing, but yeah, the last couple were were not done very well.
Yeah. From what I hear, that the developer that did it previously, Ukes, is working on an AEW game, which I hear people are really excited for. As people keep getting laid off from the WWE and making their way over there.
Yeah, right.
The Cuphead Show is finally coming to Netflix in February. In a recent press release, Netflix has finally announced a release date for the show, simply titled The Cuphead Show. The 12-episode first season is coming to the streaming giant on February 18th, 2022. Each episode will run about 12 minutes long and will focus on the adventures of Cuphead and Mugman, the main protagonists of the video game.
About time.
Yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
I wonder if this is the reason why A Delicious Last Course took so long to develop.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know that the show is not hand drawn like the game.
Oh, okay, all right.
They're using, I think they're calling it, I forget what they were calling it. It was something real like buzzwordy and stupid.
Okay. I was going to say, because if it was hand drawn, just like, the olden days.
Yeah. Them olden days. Dude,
that would make sense.
Cuphead, man. As someone who grew up on the old Silly Symphony Disney cartoons, God, Cuphead is so just beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
It's hard as balls, but
as a video game, it looks so good.
I know. Oh, it's so good. Last on the
a team of like 5 people. There's like 5 people on that development team, I think.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It was 4 people and like the composer, I think. Which is insane. And they're all related to each other. Studio and DHR. It's like 2 brothers and their wives, I think.
Oh my God. I couldn't imagine working with my family.
Yeah, God. Anyways, last on the wrap-up, Hawkeye and Kate Bishop are coming to Fortnite. When players logged into Fortnite this week, they were granted with a nice surprise. An update to the storefront brought both Clint Barton and Kate Bishop from Marvel's Hawkeye to the island, building the massive roster of not only superheroes but licensed crossover characters as well. Both Clint and Kate are costumed after their Disney Plus counterparts, decked out in their iconic charcoal and violet colors from the show. In traditional fashion, each character skin costs 1,500 V-Bucks.
How much is that in real money?
I think it's $15.
Good Lord.
1,500 V-Bucks each, or if you want both characters, they can be purchased together in a bundle for 2,400 V-Bucks. If players purchase the bundle, however, they get extra goodies, including a Hawkeye-themed glider, harvesting tools, a back bling quiver, and a special loading screen when the skin is equipped. The glider can also be bought separately for 800 V-Bucks.
Okay.
So, neat. God, Fortnite's so expensive. Jesus Christ.
My God. I mean, and the fact that it's still going, like, they can really, like, just kind of grab any franchise out there.
I know.
And, for however much, like, you get, like, a 30% kickback in whatever money we make. And, $15?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
They just added another character this week, too, from the League of Legends show on Netflix. Whoever the main character is of that show. The Arcane show, which I hear is really good, but
yeah, I hear Arcane is really good. Yeah,
but Jesus Christ, dude! I remember I hopped in. I was like, when Marcus and Kate from Gears came to Fortnite, I hopped in. I was like, you know what? Not that I'm gonna play Fortnite all that much, but the Gears characters would be really fun to have. I hopped in, dude. To buy both of them, it was like $30. I'm like,
good Lord,
what are you doing? No.
Yeah.
No, I could.
Oh my God!
I could buy the entire Gears franchise for $30 at my used game store. Why am I buying these goddamn skins?
But they keep doing it because people keep buying them.
I know.
People keep buying them.
Gotta respect Epic for.
I don't know. They got a formula and they're nailing it.
God, I'm so glad I'm not into Fortnite. Like,
same.
I'm glad because it's expensive. It's more expensive than this entire hobby itself.
Yeah, really.
You think about it, one character is 1 month of Game Pass.
Yeah, really.
Jesus
honestly.
Christ.
Think about that, everybody. If next time you're buying a skin on Fortnite for $15, think about hundreds of games you could have at your disposal. Any genre that you could think of is on Game Pass right now.
Oh, it's like a swift kick to the taint.
I know. Right in the taint. Like that little fleshy bit right in between your butthole and your pee hole. Or your sack, depending on the gender that you identify with.
Yes. God.
Whew.
Taint is such a good word. Thanks for bringing that back into my life, Stoy.
Oh, no problem, man. I mean, it's one of those things.
If there's one thing you've ever contributed to this show, it's that.
Besides getting a tagline on a T-shirt, it's just bringing back the word taint.
Yeah.
My mom would be proud of me.
Yep. Sick and taint.
Sick and taint.
What does a sick taint look like?
I
don't want to know. You know what?
No. Do you want me to tell you?
Nope. Not on this show.
It would be in the vein of that whole Boss Rush After Dark episode.
Yeah, God, dude, that. We're gonna move on to our segment. Pass it on. We're gonna talk about what's.
We could give people a teaser because isn't that one coming up soon?
Look. If you are a patron of ours, which you can join the Boss Rush Network Patreon for $1. That episode that Stoy was on is out in 2 weeks. Very grotesque story about a male genitalia operation. We'll just leave it at that.
Moving on.
Yeah. If you're listening on free feeds, it comes out in 1 month. So, gross. We're moving to pass it on, Stoy. What's coming to Game Pass this week after this already murderous week of Game Pass?
I know for a fact that they're going to shadow drop at least a couple, so keep in mind when you listen to this.
Last week, I wrote the Game Pass story for BossRush.net. What's coming to Game Pass? Thursday night, sure thing, nothing else. Or maybe it was Wednesday night. I'm like, they can't possibly announce anything else. Thursday morning, they added Death's Door and Danganronpa.
Yep.
After I posted the article, I'm like, God damn it! I'm not writing an article until Friday.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I would do that, and I was like, man, my article is already outdated for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, that may be beneficial to just like hold off until Friday.
Yeah.
To just be like, this is what came out just this week.
Yeah, Friday or like maybe even Saturday morning, people are lounging on their couches, scrolling their phones, and like, oh, Boss Rush put out an article about what's on Game Pass this week.
Yeah, because I got nothing to go in this weekend, so maybe maybe see what's up on Game Pass, bro.
Yeah.
Well, this week so far, there's only one game that's been announced, and it's called Taiko no Tatsujin, the Drum Master.
Taiko Drum Master is coming to Game Pass. Jesus Christ.
Taiko Drum Master is coming to Game Pass.
Did they sell us a damn drum?
No.
These games come with drums. Why did they not give us a drum?
It's what I don't understand why this game exists on a platform and they don't sell you drums, because this was, I think, a PlayStation 2 and Xbox game. Was it an Xbox? I
think it was a 360 game because I think there was a Kinect version.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was a Kinect version of this game.
I'm pretty sure there was, yeah. But I think it was on PlayStation 2 because I remember the drums at the time too as well. But this is just like a drum rhythm game with weird Japanese art in the background.
Yep.
That's about all I got with that.
I mean, look, there's enough this week to like get you through the next month. Let's be honest. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to put in as many hours as you want in Paparazzi. So
yes, that was the game I was talking about.
Oh, is that the game you were talking about? Okay, I don't know.
Paparazzi.
I thought we were on the same page here. Okay.
I was thinking more along the lines of the Hitman trilogy or Death's Door.
Mm-hmm.
But
Paparazzi
too. Paparazzi, whatever floats your gaming boat, I guess.
Don't forget the Mass Effect Legendary Edition's on Game Pass too. That came out this month.
Yeah.
So I mean that could take up a lot.
It's true. It could.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So there's something for everybody.
There is definitely something for everybody, and by everybody we mean everybody.
Yep. So that game is coming to Game Pass on the 27th, so on Thursday.
Yes. All right.
So,
well, my son's excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his screams of joy. Yes.
Oh, gosh, this is the absolute worst time to be doing that. It's okay. He's old. Babies.
Yeah. Babies.
All right, Stoy. We decided to go into our topic of the show And we came up with a really cool topic, which is going to be like a year-long topic. Story.
Yeah, we're going to be revisiting this for a while.
We are. So, where did my show notes go? Did I delete my show notes? Jesus Christ, Stoy. Why do I do that all the time? I'm like,
I don't know, man.
I'm like, look.
Stop clicking on things.
I was trying to get to my list of games, and then I closed this doc and opened a different one, and then I became an ass. Anyways, our topic of the show is a 2022 Xbox Game Metacritic draft. The rules are simple. We're going to pick 10 games. We're going to pick 10 games that we know about right now.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the year, we're going to add up the Metacritic scores and see who wins, right? And the loser has to we didn't get that far yet, but the loser has to get the winner something, right?
Okay.
Whether it's like a month of Game Pass or like something stupid or some game that they've been wanting and didn't buy or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Halfway through the year, like around E3 time or Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fuckfest, whatever happens with that.
I want that to be the title. Jeff Keighley's Fuckfest. Guys, I'm so excited.
After these major show announcement style things, we have the opportunity to add 5 more games to our list. So after, like, say E3 happens, if you want to add 5 games after E3, you can add 5 games after E3.
Okay, because
but then you can't.
The list is pretty thin, man.
Yeah, but
of
then
what we know.
Yeah, but then you can't add after Gamescom or Tokyo Game Show or any inside Xbox thing that happens. So what we're gonna do is, if you want to add 1 after E3, 2 after Gamescom, and 3 after Tokyo Game Show, then you can, even though that's 6 and not 5. Math.
Okay.
So we're gonna revisit the draft halfway through the year, but right now we're going to pick 10 games, and Stoy can't pick a game that I pick, and I can't pick games that Stoy picks. And at the end of the year, we're going to add up our Metacritic scores, and the winner will be provided a gift. So, Stoy, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Because I'm a nice guy.
I appreciate that. So I tried to be nice to you in my draft. I tried to be accommodating, and I'm giving you one big one. Like, I'm giving you a huge one.
You're giving me a big one?
Yes, I'm giving you a big one. Because I'm not entirely confident in that, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see when we get there. My first one's going to be a Plague Tale Requiem.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The first one was such a really good sleeper hit that it just like came out of nowhere of it being like such a great game, and I know they're gonna take that success and they're gonna double down on this next one. And there's not an official release date for this, but I know when it drops this year, which is supposed to, it's gonna be good, man.
I believe you. I believe you. I mean, I've heard good things about the first game, and I feel like that game has had enough hype around it that I think a lot of people are really, really, really looking forward to it.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's a good first pick.
Well, thank you.
So I know the game you're leaving on the table.
Okay, you kind of figured that out.
And I'm struggling if I want to pick it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a lot of great games coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Man. Okay, I'm kind of looking through like the 25 games that I have listed here, and I want to see if I want to like really.
I do have one that I want to run by you before I make it. So I mean, I'll talk about it. I think that'll be my next game. I'll just talk about, and then we'll see if that counts or not.
Okay. Yeah, we probably should have talked about some of these things because like there are games that are getting like Series X and S versions this year.
Yeah, I think you know which one I'm talking about then.
Well, there's Grand Theft Auto 5. There's The Witcher.
It's not that one.
There's The Witcher 3. There's Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk's the one I want to talk about.
I mean, we'll after I make my pick, we'll have that conversation right after this.
Okay,
after
sounds
I make
good.
My pick. God, am I gonna be the ass who doesn't pick Starfield? God, I don't know.
I mean, if you don't want it, I'll take it.
Well,
but I figured I'd leave it out the table for
right
you.
now.
Grant.
It's between Starfield and Stalker 2.
Well, can I take Stalker 2?
Well, what if I wanted to take Stalker 2?
Well, I suppose it's up to you, but
God.
Hey, man, you do you.
You know what? Because I run the risk if I pick Starfield, I run the risk of it being delayed out of the year and then getting that big goose egg for Starfield.
It could be, but Pat reminded me of this today that date that they have 11/11/21/22.
Yeah.
November 11th is a very specific day in Bethesda history.
Yeah.
So
the
if they nailed that down, yeah, and I think even like Oblivion came out on that day. So if they release on that, like if they made that a date, they're gonna nail that. So I'm pretty confident that it's gonna come out that day.
That's a good point.
So buddy,
you know what? Bethesda games score incredibly high, even if they don't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
You made a good point about the release date. Well, Pat did, I guess, but you brought it up, so I'm giving you credit.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm just a messenger.
I guess. You know what? Screw it. Starfield.
Okay.
I actually downloaded Fallout 3 because I've never played a Fallout game. I played a little bit of well, that's not entirely true. I played a little bit of Fallout 4 and I played a little bit of Skyrim, even though I know it's not an Elder Scrolls game or not a Fallout game. It's essentially, Fallout Dragons, we'll call it. That'd be cool. That'd be an awesome game. Fallout Dragons.
I'm pretty sure someone's made it.
I know.
Some modder.
But in a conversation I had, I recently came to the conclusion that there are a bunch of games that I used to not like that I actually love now. Mm-hmm. Mostly like open world RPGs.
Yeah.
And somehow in the last 3 or 4 years, I've really fallen in love with them. And I'm like, why would you fall in love with a genre that you don't have time to play? Because
who doesn't? Why would you dedicate time to something that doesn't dedicate time to you?
Yeah. So
that doesn't respect your time.
Yeah. Also, I almost bought a Backbone today, just now, because it's overnight delivery and I'm going on a trip.
Oh, okay.
Should I? Anyways,
I don't even know what a Backbone is.
It's the controller made specifically for Xbox Game Pass for phones.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. All
right. Anyways, Stoy, do you want to have the Series XS release conversation right now?
What are you talking about?
Like the
Oh yeah. So I feel Cyberpunk 2077 when it gets that upgrade, which is supposed to be happening soon. Like we're talking within a month. It's rumored.
Mm-hmm.
I really think the sales of that game are going to jump this year.
Yeah.
So that's why and that's going to make me literally play the game now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got a few hours into it and then I stopped because I'm like, I'm just going to wait for a complete polished experience for this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think a lot of people are in that same boat of just waiting for the patches, waiting for this upgrade. So, if you think that's okay, then
I think if they are getting proper Xbox Series X or S releases this year, I think it's okay because a lot of outlets are going to re-review those games, right?
Yeah.
Especially something like Cyberpunk, and probably GTA. I don't know about The Witcher because, that game's just massive.
I really don't know about The Witcher. How much more could they improve it?
But I think Cyberpunk, since a lot of eyes are on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that game is going to get re-reviewed on these consoles, and I think GTA, just because it's GTA, is going to get re-reviewed. So I think that is okay.
Okay. All right. So Cyberpunk for me.
Cyberpunk for you?
Yeah, Cyberpunk. Because I think people will be concerned. Okay, is Cyberpunk good now? like with this upgrade, like is it something I could jump back into and not experience anything? So I think you're right that a lot of outlets I think will review it again and say, hey, now's a good time to jump into it because it's mostly.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Cyberpunk for Stoy it is.
Yep. Thank you.
Well, since you're taking that, I'm going to go ahead and take Stalker 2.
Okay, cool.
Because I think that game's going to get a ton of... Like, they delayed it, and I think they're sending the right message with this game. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people, especially hardcore, like, PC people, are really looking forward to this game. So that's my next pick. I'm really intrigued. I'm so intrigued that I actually like went and downloaded the Metro games again. Because I'll have time to play all those games plus Fallout and all the other games I want to play. But I own them, so.
Why not?
Yeah, and
they're good. They're good, solid games.
Yeah,
they're really good.
Yeah,
play it in Russian, okay, with English subtitles.
No,
please.
I'm gonna play it in Russian and have my wife translate it for me.
There you go. Yeah, no subtitles. That away.
It's so funny. It's on that translation note. The first time I ever like played Destiny in front of her, and I went into the Cosmodrome. All the signs are in Russian, and she like knew exactly what they said and everything. I'm like,
that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Do you know that Resident Evil 6, all the enemies had Serbian names?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was funny because like I'm like, oh, that's kind of coincident. Like that name is Serbian for devil, and I'm like, wait a minute, but all these other names are Serbian too. What the hell?
Wow, nice.
So like a lot of people were just like, oh, we all thought they were like made up names, and I'm like, nope.
That's cool. All right, Stoy, what's your next game?
This one's kind of like an obscure one. Because I've been really looking forward to this one. Coincidentally, this is made by a Serbian developer, Scorn.
Ooh, nice.
This is supposed to be like a H.R. Giger painting come to life.
Yeah.
And there's not much that is known in terms of, gameplay. We really haven't seen much. But it was supposed to come out, I think, by the end of the year last year. And they kind of like shadow dropped, like kind of like a last minute. Oh, we're just delaying it to an undisclosed date next year. Yeah, like from what we saw beforehand, I mean, the art style is really what's going to kind of sell people on this game. I imagine it's going to have like basic first-person shooter gameplay, but. I mean, I think this is going to be Xbox's first big horror game this year.
Cool. Wow. Okay, well, speaking of horror games, I think I'm going to pick Dying Light 2.
Okay.
I think that game looks really good, and I don't even like horror games. The first one was like really interesting. I just didn't play it enough to like really deep dive into that, but I think that a lot of people are going to get a lot out of this game, especially since it takes 500 hours to see everything. But also like the way they talk about how dynamic the world is depending on your choices and stuff seems really compelling, and if they pull it off correctly and they allow people to experience the movement and stuff from the first game, I think that this game is going to be something really special for people. So that is my number 3 game.
Cool. All right, my next one is going to be, and I'm going to be nice to you here, I'm going to claim Gotham Knights.
Why would you claim that over Suicide Squad?
Because I'm going to give you Suicide. I'm honestly more confident in Gotham Knights coming out this year than Suicide Squad. Because that game was supposed to come out in 2021. And I think the pandemic kind of delayed things of their development processes because we saw gameplay of Gotham Knights a whole year before Suicide Squad.
That's true. Dude, Gotham Knights is going to be rad, by the way.
It really is. Like, so I'm more confident that Gotham Knights is going to come out this year than Suicide Squad. So that's why I left that for you if you're more confident that Suicide Squad's coming out. But I think people are going to love the hell out of this game. It's going to bring back that old, familiar Batman and Arkham City, fighting game formula and the co-op aspects of it. Like, dude, it's going to do well.
Well, I appreciate you leaving me Suicide Squad, Stoy, but that is not my next pick.
Okay, all right.
Because I think, actually, until just now, I totally forgot this game was even coming out this year, let alone in a couple weeks. But Elden Ring is mine. I just think anybody who likes Dark Souls is just going to love this game because it's a Dark Souls game, right? Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to review well because the people who are going to review it are Souls people, and they're going to just eat this game alive.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to give it to some pleb who just can't play it and be like, well, it's a 4 out of 10 because it's very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Elden Ring, my choice for number 4. Number 5,
Very
Stoy,
cool.
What's your number 5?
This one's coming up soon. Crossfire X.
Ooh.
It's developed by the campaign is being developed by Remedy, and I think it's going to be a very, very, very fun first-person shooter. I think the only competition it really has in terms of AAA games is that month is did it again is Dying Light 2. So, I think in the first-person market, I think it's going to do well.
Cool. Yeah, I think that Remedy's name being tied to it is going to just make it sell, at least to like the hardcore people, right? Like I think people are interested in a first-person shooter with control-like powers. I think is what a lot of people are anticipating.
Yeah, and really good, like, kind of cinematic cutscenes and really good story. Because, admittedly, like, the first-person shooter market is like really dropped substantially over the last like 5-7 years. Like, there really hasn't been anything notable beyond the mainstays like Halo, Destiny, Call of Duty, Battlefield. Like, those are the big ones.
And people don't play those for the stories, right? Like, I think people are interested in terms of a campaign,
Yep.
And they're gonna get one. Whether it's good or not remains to be seen, but I think it's going to be really interesting.
Yep.
Man, now I'm in a pickle. Now I gotta pick. Now I gotta pick some stuff here. Man, I am not 100% sure on what I want to pick here. Let's see. We have Saints Row, which I think is going to be decent. But I feel like we can pick better. I feel like I can pick better. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I wonder how people are going to like that game because of Borderlands burnout. I feel like so many people are burned out on Borderlands.
Yeah, I am for one in particular that is burnt out.
Yeah. I'm not like a huge Borderlands fan anyway. This is a little bit more intriguing than like a standards Borderlands type thing, but also like I'm really tired of Borderlands, just hearing about Borderlands, that I'm just like, man, I'll probably just wait till it's like cheap or on Game Pass or something at some point. Oh, Stoy, this is tough.
Yeah, it is tough because I was struggling.
Man, God, like Suicide Squad is so tempting too, but I still think it's going to get delayed out of this year. I really think that game's going to get delayed.
Which game?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I have a pit feeling. All right. I got to make a decision because I'm wasting airtime here. I'm going to pick Saints Row.
Okay.
I think a lot of people want a new GTA experience, and we're clearly not getting one, right? Like, I mean, the GTA Online stuff is one thing, but that game's been around for so long that I think people want something weird and something light in the GTA vein, and I think Saints Row is going to deliver. I think that game looks great. I know some people have problems with like the art style or kind of what they're focusing on, but I think that game looks really cool. So, Saints Row.
Yeah.
All right, Stoy.
This is a one that is kind of out there. and I don't think this is on your list. Maybe it is. I don't know, because we never talked about it. But Gungrave Gore.
Ooh.
This is a kind of like a weird, obscure Japanese third-person action game, and we're talking like over-the-top action sequences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's not gonna sell very well, but I think it's gonna review very well.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a tight game, tight gameplay mechanics, tight controls, but I think its popularity isn't going to be as big, but it's going to review very well.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally makes sense. I think that's going to, like it only takes like a niche person to review that game and give it a high score to make it.
Right.
It's a good pick.
So, yeah,
Smart
I'm going to call that one. I was kind of like grasping at straws, and then I was like, oh yeah, man, I forgot that game is coming out this year. I think even the next one I plan on picking is like, I keep forgetting it's most likely coming out this year too.
Yeah. All right, my next pick, Stoy, is Tunic.
Son of a bitch. Scratch what I just said 10 seconds ago.
I think that game looks like a lot of people have been anticipating it. I hope it's not a below situation where like so many people were anticipating it and then it just kind of reviewed mediocre and fizzled out. But I think Tunic has enough hype behind it and enough goodwill from the demos and stuff that people are really excited for it. So Tunic is my number 6 pick.
Okay.
Sorry, Stoy.
That's fine. That's fine. I was like, oh, that's kind of a weird, obscure one. I don't know if he's gonna have that one or not, but yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
It wasn't initially on my list, but you picked a couple, and I'm like, I gotta hit back with something big.
Yeah, right. No, that's fine. I'm just I kind of expected this would happen anyway. So
yeah.
All right. Well, my next one is going to be I mean, this is kind of like. We haven't heard anything about this, but they have to come out with it this year, and it's Forza Motorsport.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they said they're going to talk more about it when they have enough to show. And I know this is going to be the year that they're really going to double down on why you should own a Series X, and when we actually start to see what this hardware can do. Mm-hmm. And I think this is going to be they're like, kicking down the door with like, this is the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
So Turn 10 Studios is going to turn it up with Forza Motorsport. Man, I just came up with that. I didn't plan that at all.
Look at you. Look at you.
Look at us. Look at us.
We're doing things.
Yeah.
On this here podcast of sorts. Okay. I've got another one for you. My next pick is, you went big, I'm going to go small.
Okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
All right, cool.
I think that game has a lot of, not just a lot of nostalgia behind it, but also the developer and the publisher they specialize in these types of games. And I think that they do take a lot of time to do things right. I mean, you look at the most recent Streets of Rage, you look at a lot of the things that Dotemu has put out, over the last couple of years in terms of that retro nostalgia feel. I think that Shredder's Revenge is going to be the Ninja Turtles games people have wanted since the Super Nintendo and the Genesis.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the hype surrounding it already.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because my next one is going to be River City Girls 2.
Ooh. That's a good one. That's also on my list, but
that's okay. I threw that down at the bottom, and I was like, well, I mean, if I run out of some, I'll pull that one up. But I'll claim that one, because it's that whole, that retro side-scrolling beat-em-up franchise is still big, still popular, and I forgot the developer's name that made River City Girls, the first one, but it's so good.
Way
It actually came out on the PS. Yeah, it was Way Forward. Yeah, you're right. It just came out on the PlayStation 5 just actually, I think, a week ago. Mm-hmm. So, that's going to be something I'm going to pick up for sure. I'm actually gonna. I mean, I have it for the Switch, and it's like, well, I suppose I don't need it again, but that game is so good.
Yeah. All right, I'm trying to pick between a couple here. There's a couple that I want to pick, but one is kind of dangerous because it's rumored to be kind of delayed soon. Other one was already delayed once. All right, I'm gonna go Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Okay, I know that got pushed back.
I think there's a lot of hype around that game. I think a lot of people are excited to see what the XCOM team can do with a Marvel game. I know the card-based system kind of turned some people off, including myself, but I also think that they know what they're doing, and I'm excited to see what this game looks like.
Well, maybe that's what the delay is going to entail. Maybe they're going to rework the system to make it more, to make it user-friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope.
Well, I tweeted a long time ago when this game was announced, and then they started talking about it. I'm like, I tweeted at For Access. I'm like, man, this game looked so promising, but a card-based system, I'm out. Like, I'm out. I'm not gonna waste. Like, no offense to card-based games, they're just not for me. I just don't want to waste my time on a Marvel game that's based on card deck building.
Yeah.
So, and they liked the tweet, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe they're actually listening to the feedback because.
And I didn't say it like a dick, right? I was just like,
right, yeah.
I was like, man, I was really looking forward to this game, but card-based games just aren't for me. Sorry for Access, I think was the tweet. And they liked it. So, I mean, not that I'm like some big personality on the internet, but.
Hey, man, when it comes out and that card-based system is abandoned, we can all thank you.
Yeah.
And just you only.
It'd be great. You know what? Just everybody thank me when that game comes out. No cards.
I'm thanking you already in advance. So.
Thanks, Stoy. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, I appreciate you because I really want to play this game.
I know.
And the fact that you convinced them to abandon the card-based system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Let's see. How many games we got left? 2 more each, it looks like.
Two
right?
more.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to take Wolf Among Us 2.
Ooh, damn it. Damn it.
It was, I think, not the most popular game in the Telltale catalog, but I think it was the most highly reviewed.
Yeah.
Like, it had the highest score.
Yeah.
And I think the new development team at Telltale with their new engine and new kind of approach to storytelling, like, and they're ditching the episodic format, thank God. Like, I think this game is going to come out extremely polished, hugely narrative focused, because, I mean, it's one of those things like when they release games in like episodic format, sometimes like the episodes are just completely disjointed or just, it was like different mechanics and things didn't make sense. So I'm glad they're all putting this out as like one big game.
Yeah.
So, and I'm really looking forward to see what they bring with this. So,
yeah. Good
Sick.
choice. Good choice. Damn it. Good choice. I hate you so much right now.
That's all right. I mean, you took Tunic from me and Stalker 2.
I did. You're right. I did. All right. So my next game, Sea of Stars. I think that game looks incredible.
Sea of Stars?
Yeah. Do you not know what this is? It's basically their love letter to Chrono Trigger. Like, it's the studio that made the Messenger. It's their kind of action RPG.
Yeah. No, I looked at the cover art and I was like, oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
God, dude, that game looks so good. I
yeah,
cannot
it really
wait for that.
Does.
Yeah. I don't have much more to say about that. I just think it's gonna be awesome. I think that game's gonna be awesome. Well, Stoy, it's the final one.
I've got a couple I'm like in between for, and I'm like thinking like which one do I really want to double down on? Because I'm in between 3 of them, and actually a 4th one because you did you take Suicide Squad?
Nope.
No. Okay. So there's that. Like.
Yeah.
Oh, actually 5. I forgot. I moved that away from my list. Because I wanted to do Callisto Protocol, but I am 90% positive that's not coming out this year.
It's listed on Game Informer's website as 2022.
I know, but I don't believe it. I really don't. I put it. I know. I think everything I've seen about it is like 2022 and stuff like that, but I really don't think so. That's why I kind of like put it on the bottom of the list.
Now you can add it. You can still add it when we go to our halfway of the year to do our mid-year draft. Still add it.
But I mean, if we're over 10, can we still add?
Yeah. Well, our limit is going to be 15.
Okay, got it.
But we're picking 10 now, and then adding 5 at the mid-year.
All right, I'm gonna keep that on. I'm gonna go and say Suicide Squad then.
Okay.
I am pretty damn confident. I mean, the gameplay footage that we saw looked pretty damn polished.
Yeah.
Like, it looked really good. It looks. I mean, did it look mostly finished? I don't know, but
I think that game looked incredibly finished.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it looked pretty damn finished. So, yeah.
Man, now I have to make a big decision here. There's a couple I was looking at. Man, I wanted to pick Destiny the Witch Queen so bad. But Destiny expansions don't ever review great until the seasons start popping in. So I know initially that the Witch Queen will probably score around a 7 or an 8. Because it always happens.
Yeah.
So I'm not going there. My other thought was Redfall. But that game is rumored to be delayed again.
Yeah.
But I don't know for how long.
I forgot about that game.
Yeah. Because it's supposed to...
You know what else? Go ahead.
I was to say it's supposed to come out in the first half of this year, but it's rumored that it's going to get delayed. Even though it doesn't really have like a firm release date.
Yeah, I thought I heard like May or June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think May was like the big kind of X.
Mm-hmm.
So those were the two I was looking at. But also, man, Loot River was one I was looking at too. Like, God. Man, also Hogwarts Legacy was one I was looking at, but also that game was rumored to be in trouble. So
yeah.
I don't want to pick that right now. Lego Star Wars was also one, but also like how high scores do Lego's games usually get, So
yeah, especially the Skywalker saga. I don't think I don't know.
I know they took a lot of like creative kind of choices with this game, but man, Stoy, I don't know what to pick. You took all the good ones.
Oh, stop it. Did you even take Starfield?
I did.
You did? Okay, that was like the first one.
Actually, you gave it to me. So
yeah, I gave it to you.
You did. Man, all right, I gotta make a pick here. You know what? Screw it.
Yeah, I could pick you one for you.
Screw it. I'm gonna pick Redfall. I'm gonna do it.
I mean, if it gets delayed, I wouldn't imagine it get delayed till, probably later, like in the year.
I mean, Deathloop got delayed over a year though. Although,
surprisingly, none of us picked Call of Duty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, technically, we don't know which Call of Duty it is. So.
Yeah. Right. No kidding.
I mean, we could always add it at the mid-year draft.
Yeah, we could.
All right.
I'm gonna keep that there.
Just put a pin in it.
Boop. One thing I was really looking forward to that I'm still undecided on. One of the games I wanted to pick was Prince of Persia remake.
I know. I looked at that too. It's on my list too.
Because I know they delayed it by a significant amount because the gameplay trailer that we saw, like when they released it like last year, looked like trash.
Yeah.
I was like, this is supposed to be a next gen game. And it looks like 360 graphics.
I know, and it wasn't coming to Switch, which looked like the platform it was made for.
Yeah, if they told me like, oh, this is coming on the Switch, like, all right, I can see that.
Yeah.
But wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody picked Multiversus either. Darn.
Oh no. Oh darn.
Oh darn.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but
Yeah. So, all right. Here's the list in case you tuned out a little bit. Stoy's games so far. Now remember, we can add up to 5 more by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Plague Tale Requiem, Cyberpunk 2077, Scorn, Gotham Knights, Crossfire X, Gungrave Gore, Forza Motorsport, River City Girls 2, Wolf Among Us 2, and Suicide Squad. My games: Starfield, Soccer 2, Dying Light 2, Elden Ring, Saints Row, Tunic, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Sea of Stars, and Redfall. So,
it's a good list.
Yeah.
It's a good list. I think they're all going to be surefire hits. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. It's going to be, so...
What's your game for February? Dying Light 2?
Dying Light 2 and Elden Ring.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to be... I think my only game I got coming out in February is Crossfire.
Yeah. So basically, I think what we're going to do is at the end of every month, like the last episode of every month, we'll go through and kind of give updates on our scores.
Right, yeah.
And just kind of keep everybody updated. So I think that's a good thing to do.
Yeah, I think your Elden Ring may eke out in February, may eke out my Crossfire.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this was fun though. This was God, man. There's a lot of good games coming out this year, dude. Like I was I was looking through this list and not even like even the exclusives on PlayStation and Switch are like really good. Like Mario plus Rabbids 2 and Zelda and God of War and
Zelda ain't coming out here. I'm really standing firm on that one that it ain't coming out this year.
I think it's gonna be. It sucks. I think it's gonna be March 2023 personally, but on the list that Game Informer provided, it says 2022, so I went with it. Mm-hmm. But I still think it's going to be a March 2023 thing.
No, yeah, I agree. I really don't think. Unless I know Nintendo historically always comes out with like if they make a game announcement that it's going to come out within a 6-month window. So they usually are pretty good with that. So it's very rare that they announce something years in advance, and if they do, it's like shit, we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, like
shouldn't have done that.
Like Bayonetta 3. And Metroid Prime 4 are the two big ones.
Yep.
So, and like I think a game like Zelda though, it just has that really long kind of hype window that just never dies, so you can kind of announce it whenever you want. It's like, well, yeah, sure. Well, Stoy, that's gonna do it for this episode of Arsenal X. I want to thank everybody for watching and/or listening. Remember, you can catch us on Tuesdays on podcast services. Leave us a 5-star review if you listen on iTunes or Spotify. It really helps us out. Stoy, I appreciate your time tonight. Where can we find you?
Hey, man, it's always a good time. It's always a good time.
It is.
You can find me on the EXP Cast, a video game podcast. We're part of the Boss Rush Network as well. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at EXPcast. And also, you can follow me on my personal Twitter and Instagram at StoyMKE8.
Nice. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at IamCorianHD. And you can find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast and various other things here on the Boss Rush Network. Remember to like, subscribe, share, rate, and review wherever you listen to our shows. Check out all of our content on bossrush.net. And we will see you next week on another episode of Arsenal X. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Hey, bro.